Hi everyone, Sandra here at Homesteading Ways, and today we are going to be making a fabulous orange cranberry bread, loaf, whatever. Actually there's two in the recipe, but I wanted to ask you guys something real quick. What do you think of my new apron? I've always loved having aprons. I always forget to put them on. But after the last couple episodes of me baking and being covered in flour, I went out and got a new apron. My other ones are up at the cabin, of course. I always forget stuff, whatever. But I think this one's pretty cute. I like it. But anyhow, let's get started. In this bowl here, we have 2 3/4 cup of flour, just regular white flour. We're going to add to that baking powder, not baking soda this go around, but baking powder, and we are going to put in there, geez Louise, my measures are all messed up. We're going to have 3½ teaspoons. So here is 1. I like how it has this thing in here so it's easy to measure. 2, 3, and we'll eyeball that half. So I don't want to look for that other spoon. And then a teaspoon of salt. And for your dry ingredients, for the most part, that's all you're gonna be doing. I'm just gonna mix this around a little bit. It doesn't have to be very much. Just incorporate it a little bit here. This is fabulous bread, you guys. You're gonna love this. It's a wonderful wintertime bread, but it's pretty and it's really nice for the holidays. Cranberries come into harvest late October, early November. Perfect. So now let's move on to the wet. Just going to have 1 egg here, but I'm going to whisk that a little bit. And then to that, I'm going to add 1 cup of milk. Me and these measuring spoons, huh? 3 tablespoons of oil. I'm using grapeseed. You can use vegetable oil or whatever you like. Okay, now we're going to move on to the oranges here. Here is some orange zest. I'm putting that in there. Now that's from 1 orange, 1 medium, not quite large orange. And for that size of an orange, when you zest it, you will get about 2 tablespoons of zest, and I want a good amount of zest in there. So we need ½ cup of orange juice. So I just took 2 oranges, because 1 orange will give you, like I said, the 2 tablespoons of zest, but it'll give you a ¼ cup of juice. So I already squeezed 1 in there. I zested this other orange. Even though I didn't need the zest, I figured what the heck, why not? I zested it, put it in a baggie, put it in the freezer. Now I have it for a future recipe, if need be. So these are room temperature too. If your citrus fruit is more warm than cold, you'll get more juice. So I'm going to squeeze as much juice as I can out of here. If you have a juicer, by all means use that. You know, the hand kind. I have one, I just don't know where it is. Okay. It's a good thing I could still use my hands though, huh? It smells really good. Now we're just going to add that in. Then we're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. Vanilla and baking just kind of go hand in hand, don't they? And then here is 2/3 cup white sugar and 2/3 cup of packed brown sugar. Add that in there. Just keep mixing it all along. Now cranberries are really good for you, but here in Wisconsin we are the #1 producer of cranberries, and the cranberry crop this year is huge, and I guess it has been for the last few years. And so the farmers are having a hard time selling that many. So I encourage you to buy some cranberries this year. Buy extra. You can freeze them. There's a million different recipes out there to use cranberries in. Buy cranberry products like juice or the cans of already made cranberry sauce. Just go ahead and use them. Look it up. I'll put a link in the description box on how great cranberries are for you. Buy, buy, buy. There's several states actually. I think is it Massachusetts? That's #2. There are 3 states, and I think 2 of them are on the East Coast that are huge in cranberry producing too. So go ahead and buy lots of cranberries. Our farmers can use it. So now we're going to take our wet and mix it in with our dry. Now, before we did this, we started the oven, we preheated it at 350, and we greased 2 8x4 pans. If you only have a 9-inch pan, go ahead and use that. You're just going to have a thicker bread, because you're going to use all this batter in just that one pan as opposed to 2 pans. Now, a lot of the cranberry orange breads, or orange cranberry, however you want to say it, have nuts in them. And I like nuts in a bread too. But these are going out to people that don't like nuts, so I left them out. But if you'd like to, go ahead and put some pecans or walnuts or whatever you want to put in there. I'd say anywhere between 1/2 cup to 2/3 would probably be good. Now, yep, there's some lumps in here. That's okay, don't sweat it. See how you mix this up? See those little bit of lumps? It's not a big deal. Because now we're going to fold in our cranberries. This is 2.5 cups. If you have a food processor, go ahead and put it on a coarse chop. I don't have one. So with the bigger cranberries, I pretty much just cut them in half. And if I have real small ones like this, I just left them whole. So we're just going to mix those in. It's wonderful how the cranberries keep their red color. And I just love citrus, especially in the winter time, because sometimes we'll have some, really heavy food and heavily spiced foods, and that's all well and good. But I like the clean scent and taste of citrus. It kind of reminds me of warmer, sunnier days. But the red here is nice for the holidays. So there we go. Now we're going to pour these into our pan. Now you can grease your pans with one of those sprays if you like, or you can just use butter like I did. Just make sure to get in those corners really well so it doesn't stick. You're just going to divide this between the 2 pans. Sometimes it's hard to decide when you're even, but just keep going. Now you're going to bake these in the oven for 50 to 55 minutes. Start checking it at the 50-minute mark. Just use a toothpick in the center like you would a cake, and when it comes out clean, you're good. Okay, when they come out of the oven, I'll be back with you. Okay, they're out of the oven. They look and smell wonderful. Now, once you get them out, no, okay, this came out at 51 minutes. So once you get them out, let them rest here like for 10 minutes, and then get them out of the pan and finish cooling them on a wire rack. If you don't have use for 2 of them at one time or whatever, these freeze beautifully. So just wrap them in saran wrap, plastic wrap, then tin foil, and put them in your freezer. When you want to use them, just put them out on the countertop, let them defrost that way, and it'll work out great. They're wonderful in lunches. They're great to give to your guests. Just go ahead and make these. You'll love them. They're beautiful. If you like the video, make sure to thumbs up. Share it with your friends if you think that they would like it as well. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. That would be wonderful. It was nice talking to you. And you take care.